Sir David Amess.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to prohibit the use of farrowing crates in pig farming and for connected purposes. I'm delighted that as we have these hybrid proceedings, I appear to have a number of colleagues present. They may not all be unanimous in support for this bill, but I know my right honourable friend and my neighbour for Rayleigh and Wickford certainly is. And pigs happen to be my wife's favourite animals, and she's never suggested that she married one, in case anyone was thinking that. So it gives me great pleasure today to present the Pig Husbandry Farrowing Bill. The aim of this bill is to prohibit the cruel and unnatural use of farrowing crates. Just over 50% of our sows are placed in these crates a few days before giving birth. It's called farrowing, and they are kept there until the piglets are weaned at 3 to 4 weeks of age. This means that sows are often kept in these crates for 9 to 10 weeks a year, and in some cases for longer. These crates are so narrow that the sow cannot turn around. Almost exactly 30 years ago, on the 21st of January 1991, a private member's bill by Sir Rich Boddy, who was one of my predecessors representing Basildon, introduced a bill to this House that sought to ban the use of sow stalls which were used to confine sows during their pregnancy. A few months later, in April, the then Ministry of Agriculture adopted his bill and banned sow stalls from 1999. This led to a European Union-wide partial ban that came into effect in 2013. So it is, Madam Deputy Speaker, with similar intention that I introduce this bill today, and I hope that the Government will confirm to me that either they will adopt the bill or that they are taking steps to bring forward their own regulations. I've got no vanity in this issue, I just want action on it. And that we have the same end result, a ban on the use of farrowing crates in England. Now, in the 1990s, we led the way in developing legislation to enhance the welfare of pigs, and it led to substantial improvements which were copied throughout our continent. Yet today, 30 years on, we still permit the use of farrowing crates for sows. Unfortunately, we now find ourselves falling behind nations where laws are either in place or due to come into effect to end the use of farrowing crates, either altogether or to limit their use to just a few days around farrowing. Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Austria, and most relevant of all in the light of it being a major pig farming nation, Germany, have all enacted such legislation. And as a patron for the wonderful Conservative Animal Welfare Foundation, I must thank Lorraine Platt for her invaluable work on advancing animal welfare and animal rights. My goodness, how my party has come a long way from when I was first elected together with my right honourable friend, the member for Gainsborough, who takes a different view on this subject, how we've altered our views on animal welfare issues. The Foundation's report details how, despite there being over 200,000 sows confined in farrowing crates each year, the scientific evidence is being ignored, and a ban on these crates will indeed have a positive effect on sow welfare. Whilst confined in farrowing crates, these sensitive, and this isn't always understood, and intelligent animals are unable to express many of their natural behaviours. I mean, how many people realise that they actually make a nest? That's their natural instinct. A recent study found that these sentient beings are intelligent enough to even use a computer joystick to control a cursor on a screen and indeed to earn a treat. These crates result in the sow being forced to give birth in a tiny space and then nurse their young through bars. The space in the crate is so restricted that all the sows can do is stand up and lie down until their piglets are actually weaned. Confined in these crates, sows bite and chew the bars and scrape at the floor in frustration, only to endure painful wounds and sores. A range of free farrowing pens, which provide more space for sows, has been developed, including by innovative British engineers, scientists and farmers. We often hear the industry argue that farrowing crates are needed to protect the piglets from being crushed. I'm probably second-guessing my right honourable friend's speech against the bill. Yet scientific research shows that in well-designed and well-managed free farrowing pens, piglet mortality can be as low or even lower than in farrowing crates. Not only that, but they have been shown to also improve productivity and provide many benefits for sow welfare. 40% of the United Kingdom sows are reared in these systems, and calculations based on figures from the Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board show that piglet mortalities have been lower in outdoor systems than indoor systems in 19 out of the last 20 years. This is a great opportunity to improve the welfare of British sows, enhance our country's reputation of advancing animal welfare and support the ingenuity of British developers. Now, the Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs recently published Agricultural Transition Plan recognises that the future farm subsidies scheme, and I quote, could relate to improving animal welfare in relation to confinement. For example, the use of cages and crates. Even though this is very much welcome, it must be noted, however, that legislation is needed to make these improvements to pig welfare mandatory. Payments to help farmers reach the required standard of animal welfare would, I'm sure, speed the process up considerably. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, the bill that I am presenting today foresees that the use of farrowing crates would be prohibited from the year 2027. This is ample time to allow farmers using these systems to phase them out and take advantage of the government's new agricultural support scheme for financial assistance in replacing crates with free farrowing systems. Now, in 2019, the wonderful organisation Compassion in World Farming led a coalition of the United Kingdom animal welfare charities in securing over 107,000 signatures on a petition number 243448, calling for Britain to end the cage age. That petition was echoed by a European Citizens Initiative, which was supported by 170 animal welfare NGOs from across Europe, which secured 1.4 million signatures in support. I praise the work that Compassion in World Farming continue to do to promote animal welfare in this country, and especially so in helping me deliver this bill. The Prime Minister himself stated in this chamber, and I quote, "There are measures we will be able to implement as a result of Brexit, such as banning sow farrowing crates. We must not waste this monumental opportunity provided by Brexit to position Britain as a global leader on animal welfare. This bill is a significant step in delivering on that promise. So, as one of the driving forces behind and one of the first to implement a ban on sow stalls across the European Union, the United Kingdom should not now be falling behind the European Union member state in the area of pig welfare. I hope that the government will support this bill to ensure that it becomes law and fully recognise the unnecessary pain and suffering sows experience in farrowing crates. I commend this measure to the House.